Ever seen a movie flop so spectacularly, even the lead actress has to book a therapy session in an empty theater just to process the trauma? Because that's precisely what Rachel Zegler did when Disney's Snow White didn't just flop. It belly flopped into Hollywood history. Let's dive into the glorious disaster, shall we? First off, Rachel didn't merely star in Snow White. She led the charge into what's shaping up to be one of Hollywood's most epic faceplants.
And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Honestly, calling it a flop feels unfair to other movie flops. It's more like a career-ending event, like accidentally hitting reply all with an embarrassing email, but on a multi-million-dollar scale. Remember when Rachel confidently told us, "People will wait in line to see my movies"? Well, it turns out people did line up, but it was to buy tickets for literally anything else. Seriously, theaters were emptier than my fridge at midnight. Fans posting seat maps online had more blue squares than an ocean, giving whole new meaning to blue ocean strategy. And the ultimate humiliation, Rachel herself documented the whole sad ordeal. She literally brought friends along, probably for emotional support or witnesses, to watch her own film flop in real time.
It sounds like you're one of the only ones there, just like Rachel Zegler, as it turns out, and we part with this video of Rachel Zegler alone in a theater watching herself. One of the most unlikable humans
That
ever.
is sadder than when the original Snow White eats the apple.
That's like watching your own videos on YouTube just to get the views up because nobody wants to watch your videos. Instagram saw it all. Rachel buying tickets, walking into an empty theater, capturing every cringe-worthy moment. Talk about turning your big screen debut into prime meme material. This wasn't damage control. It was self-roasting on a cinematic level. She tried to be in on the joke, but it just turned into a desperate plea. Watch me tank my career in glorious 4K. But numbers don't lie, and man, are these numbers brutal.
Can we spend 1 minute on Snow White and how it totally imploded at the box office this weekend? It was so delicious. The thing they spent $170 million to make the thing, and it had the lowest opening, under $50 million, of any of these live action Disney remakes that they've ever had. Even the one that was their worst, Dumbo, did better than this has done. And they postponed the release of this thing, Ben, for a year because their star, Rachel Zegler, was so unlikable, told all Trump supporters that they could fuck off, excuse me, but she did. That was just in November. They didn't even know she was going to do that one. Said she hated Snow White, mocked the fact that there was a prince and that she falls in love as opposed to leaning into her own power. We could go on. It didn't work. Your thoughts?
First of all, a few lessons for Disney. Number one, stop cannibalizing all your old IP. Like, it's really bad. It's really bad business. Number two, please stop changing all of the historic plots, which actually have meaning to generations of people, to instead become generic woke story about how woman leads revolutionary uprising and she don't need no man. Because guess what? Nobody grew up with that crap, and nobody's all that interested in it. You're a very successful woman. My wife is a doctor. I have no problem with this with women in the workplace, but this idea that women don't need men is ridiculous on its face. It's terrible for society. It's very good for people to learn that women need men, and also that men need women. I don't know why this fell out of fashion, and we're not allowed to just say that sort of stuff anymore, but it actually happens to be the truth. And then beyond that, all these studios have to stop letting their actors loose. I mean, honestly, just shut your actors up.
Disney forked out $370 million on Snow White. $370 million. That's enough to buy like 1 million glass slippers and still have money left over for therapy. And how did that investment pay off? A miserable $43 million opening weekend, followed by a jaw-dropping 66% drop in ticket sales the second weekend. At that point, it would have been cheaper just to burn a pile of cash on live TV. How bad was it exactly? Even Dumbo did better, and that elephant literally flew out of theaters faster than you could say box office poison. In its second weekend, Snow White sank behind an action flick called A Hard-Working Man, a movie with fewer theaters and no Disney-sized hype behind it. Even The Chosen Last Supper, playing in half as many theaters, nearly outperformed it. Think about that. Snow White was beaten by a hard-working dude and nearly dethroned by a Bible flick. That's biblical level failure. Now, as of March 30th, 2025, Snow White made roughly $142.8 million worldwide. Translation: Disney might as well have taken $100 million, tied it to a rocket, and blasted it into space. Analysts predict the movie will lose over $100 million, and its IMDb score, a dismal 1.5 at one point. At that rating, you'd think Snow White personally insulted each viewer's grandma. This is from the same Disney that turned a CGI Lion King remake into a billion-dollar beast. Yet Rachel managed to clear theaters faster than an emergency evacuation drill. But let's be real, Snow White didn't implode on its own. Rachel practically talked this movie into oblivion herself. She kicked things off by calling Disney's classic cartoon weird, slamming Prince Charming for stalking, and insisted the story needed fixing. Look, we know it's dated. It was made in 1937, but openly roasting your own movie's legacy before release? Very bold. Then she upped the ante, telling entire political groups they shouldn't watch her movie. Rachel, you're starring in Snow White, not running for mayor of Fairyland. Telling half your potential audience, "I don't need your money, thanks," is an intriguing new promotional strategy. And it worked perfectly. No one showed up. Oh, and let's not forget her beef with Gal Gadot. Rachel dropped casual shade about Gal being a former pageant queen, and conveniently left her out of sentimental cast posts online. Disney literally had to increase Gal's security after Rachel's comments ignited backlash. Awkward much? If Gal Gadot's secretly smirking right now, I wouldn't blame her. At this point, Disney's PR team deserves a medal, or at least overtime pay, for extinguishing Rachel's endless fires. Reportedly, a social media guru was even brought in to handle Rachel's drama. But that's like sending in a babysitter to tame a tornado. Rachel had already gone viral for insulting fans, igniting controversies, and dragging her movie through the mud. It got so bad, even Spielberg reportedly did a double take, thinking, maybe I should have cast a real cartoon instead. Eventually, Rachel did apologize online, and the post was so forced and corporate, it looked like Mickey Mouse himself drafted it. But it was too little, too late. The internet wasn't buying it. Rachel was quickly ghosted by Hollywood. Rumored voice role in Toy Story 5, gone. Pirates of the Caribbean reboot, shipwrecked. Blumhouse horror trilogy, axed. Apparently, Hollywood decided she'd brought enough horror already. Now Rachel claims making Snow White was life-changing and emotional. Yeah, I'd be emotional too if my career evaporated faster than water droplets in the Sahara. But hey, she still has the memes, the empty theaters, and memories of that beautiful moment when she single-handedly tanked a Disney classic. So, let's wrap this fairy tale up. Rachel didn't just experience a bad movie release, she turned it into a box office apocalypse, picking fights with fans, throwing shade at co-stars, and creating drama that outshined her own movie. Rachel Zegler basically gave us a masterclass in how to torch a promising career in record time. But here's the burning question. Is this really the end of Rachel Zegler's Hollywood dreams? Or can she still claw her way out of this epic royal disaster? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Remember, not every fairy tale gets a happily ever after, especially if you're Rachel Zegler. If you guys liked today's video, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.